Milwaukee Bucks. I'm going to start off by saying, let's get it out of the way. I'm not a huge fan of Jabari Parker. And it's not because I don't think Jabari Parker is talented. He's supremely talented. He's a fantastic basketball player. Unfortunately, the position that he plays and the role that he plays that I'm guessing he'll play on the Bucks are not what I think will lead to winning basketball. Now, he'll score a lot, he'll rebound a lot, but I don't think it'll be in ways that are beneficial to the team, or his role will preclude other players from having a much more productive role. And what I mean by that is what Jabari Parker brings to the team is scoring and rebounding. And really, on an NBA team, scoring and rebounding are not just a product of the talent of the player scoring. Yeah, in one-on-one situations, in the shot clock situations, in the game situations, but you're going to have 40 to 50 possessions a game. The name of the game is execution consistently. And so if you're executing properly on offense, and if you're playing well on defense, which leads to better offensive opportunities, then who gets the ball, who gets the scoring or who does the scoring is not as important as how the scoring happens, meaning how the ball gets into the position to be scored. And really, a guy like Jabari Parker, who had great success in college, because in college, a guy of his size and ability can really win games on his own. He can enforce his will on other teams, but you cannot force your will on NBA teams. It just doesn't happen. And when teams try to do that, you get situations like Carmelo Anthony. Supremely talented player, but in my opinion, his style leads to a lot of empty possessions because the coaches and GMs that sign guys like this, that 20 and 10, 20 and 8, high scorers, they feel the need to have to get that guy those points. He feels the need to justify his contract by getting those points, and even if it doesn't look like, even if what they're doing isn't necessarily leading to wins, it's just the mentality that's kind of around these kind of guys. And I think that, unfortunately, Jabari Parker will fall into that role. And the two reasons why I don't care for Jabari's game is because he is not a defensive player. He's not, and honestly, in my opinion, he is not a very good athlete either. So I don't think he can really develop into the type of defender that he should be at that position. I don't know if he should be at that position, but his high usage and all that. And then also, he is not, although he's a very good ball handler, he does not seem to be a very, I wouldn't say unwilling passer, but I really think that he's accustomed to being one of the biggest dudes on the court. When you watch him play, even in college, he always seems to try to overpower guys. And again, I don't think it's going to work in the NBA, especially because I don't think he's as athletically gifted as a lot of other guys. But the rest of the team, this team's a very hodgepodge kind of team. And I don't expect them to do much, but again, there's some very interesting players. And again, I will say, at least the Bucks will be fun to watch. Even if they didn't have any other players besides Jabari Parker, watching Jabari Parker is going to be awesome. Whereas I don't know if you can say that about the Heat. The Heat will win 45 games, and you'll be bored out of your mind. But with this team, you got Giannis Antetokounmpo, who is an athletic freak, 19 years old, is already a defensive nightmare. Jared Dudley, one of my favorite players, by virtue of his ability to stick in the league by using his basketball IQ. His defense is actually pretty amazing considering his physical limitations. I think he's really fantastic defensively. He's a great shooter and he's a great passer, and his head's always in the game. Let's see here, who else? John Henson. Now there's a very interesting player who still has a chance to really develop into a very, very good defensive player. 6'11", very long arms, and he's only 23. So Brandon Knight, the point guard that they got from Detroit. Now there's a guy who I just don't understand. I mean, he looks stiff and not unathletic. He plays stiff. I don't know. I just don't care for his game. Kendall Marshall has yet to be able to stick anywhere, but a very good point guard. His defense is atrocious. O.J. Mayo, he's probably going to take too big a role on this team. O.J. would be great on some other team coming off the bench like he was in Memphis, but as far as being front line guy, I don't think that's his role. Chris Middleton out of Texas A&M, great shooter. Don't know how much he'll play. Oh, Larry Sanders, what a great guy to watch when he's healthy. Freak of nature athlete, block shots, all that. So, yeah, I mean, one more guy. Again, like this guy bounces around. He doesn't play a lot. Chris Wright out of Dayton. If you want to see some dunks, go on YouTube, look up Chris Wright dunks. Just go do that right now. I'm telling you, man, you won't regret it. So yeah, Milwaukee Bucks. Oh, and Jason Kidd's the coach. I don't think it really matters with his talent, but maybe he'll surprise. So anyway, yep, that's the Bucks.